Regular meeting, school board to order. It's Wednesday, October 22nd at 3:30 p.m. Daylight saving time in the boardroom. And with that, I'd like to make a couple of announcements. Well, welcome everybody here. And if you could keep the conversations quiet so the TV won't pick up any backbeat. And also, any speakers, please use the podium. That being said, move to item 2. Pledge of Allegiance, please stand if you wish. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. With that, we'll move to item 3, public comment.
We have no public comment today, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. With that, we'll move to item 4, administrative reports.
Would you like to start with our principals or directors, or where would you like to begin today?
Well, any committee reports? Take that one off the list. They can, administrators can go.
Okay, I think Mr. Gabarty's up first.
Yep.
The high school, thank you.
Okay, so we just got a little PowerPoint put together for you because we're going to have our leadership team, Ms. Escalise here, to represent them. The rest of the team is up here on the board. We do meet monthly to go over different things as a district. This is the high school team. A lot of them couldn't be here to say other obligations, but Ms. Tui will be here in a little while. She's at an IEP meeting after school. So this is our crew. And I don't know if I'll let you run with these next few slides.
All right, big focus on reading in the last couple of years for us, and really all gen ed across the board trying to integrate more reading into our curriculum. So the literacy framework piece there that you can see that we're really trying to make sure people are working on. It's not just the English teacher's job to teach reading, obviously, it's the focus for all of us. The other big piece, which is really awesome, is the development of that evaluation model this summer so that it's consistent K-12 across the board, which is great for comparing just essentially, all of us teachers obviously have really basic practices that we need to work on and grow on, and it's kind of nice seeing that came together, because before, up until that point, it was not consistent. So now there's something in place, and the cool thing for us too as teachers is that the form is very beneficial for us. So if there's areas of improvement that we have for us, it's really easy for us to see, those areas for that. And I believe admin was also trained on that, correct? Also on how they were going to use that. So it is absolutely great that K-12, same procedures being used, same everything for the teachers, for all of us. So that's really nice. Another big piece of this, I have to say, just being someone who's kind of been from this from the beginning, is all of these things, having continuity K-12 for a lot of these things it is wonderful. There's so many times when we maybe get together with Lincoln or we talk about other grades and we kind of weren't one together before in some of these procedures. All of these things lend itself to that now, and it's absolutely great to see. Looking at our special ed in the high school and looking at how we're kind of trying to address our needs more, address our student needs more, and looking at some of our different interventions. And did they go through the different types of interventions last time?
I don't believe so.
Or,
I don't believe so. Not specifically.
so tier 1's not listed on here. Well, it's mentioned in that second paragraph. Tier 1 is just sort of like basic things that we as educators do for all of our students. What are things that we can do to accommodate students? Like, to give you an example, accepting late homework. Obviously we have procedures on accepting late homework, but what are things that we can do? Because obviously things come up in their lives, maybe they can't get something done, so that would be an accommodation for that. And then as you move through the tiers, they get more intensive and get more specific with those students, because obviously for some students, that's not enough. We need to go to further steps. So we have these collaborative linked teams, Tier 2. So educators responsible for planning, monitoring, and revising Tier 2 intensive behavior and academic interventions. So that's starting to get a little bit more specific with accommodations we can make in the classroom for those students. If we've gone through these steps and then we meet together as a team once a month, every 2 weeks, really looking at these students going with data, we as teachers collecting data on these students and saying, we're trying tier 1, we're trying tier 2, we're still not feeling, and after collecting data for quite some time, if we're still not feeling movement, then we move into that, looking to see if they need the tier 3 interventions, which is another step. So it is really nice because everything now you can see is really organized and continuous K-12.
So basically in this concept, tier 1 is like all students are tier 1, tier 2 is our basis for interventions, like first stepping stone towards should they be referred to special ed. A lot of times if we do the tier 2 and we get kids back on track and we find something successful, they go back the other direction, tier 1, and we never have to go the special ed route. Special ed is tier 3. In the past, really kids really just went from tier 1, slammed right over to tier 3, did testing, and kids were qualifying and our special ed numbers are really high. I mean, it's kind of all over the place. So this process will hopefully bring some of those numbers down and we'll be able to get kids back on track without having to go all the way to the special ed evaluations and stuff. So yeah, so it's a good process that we've got implemented now K-12.
Can I ask, is this, and I'm missing the terms, but is this child study? Is this the same as child study process?
Yeah, kind of.
It is,
on steroids.
but
Okay.
Yeah, really.
yeah, but like the way that the teams are set up now, the way we're meeting, it is set up so that there is teachers from every department at these meetings. So they're and instead of just the counselors and admin and special ed teachers handling this, it is all of the teachers working together to make all the kids successful. And like Mr. Gabarty said, it's a very formal process of saying what are things that we can do before we reach that tier 3, because ultimately that's what we want for them. If we can make them be successful with the things, modifications that we can do, that's what we want for them. So it's a very organized, great thing.
What I would think would be powerful about this is Mrs. Zubich on this end of the building and you here, Mrs. Escalay, you probably don't have a lot of interaction during the day. You don't get to talk about kids and how things went. You're not, maybe something works for you that Mrs. Zubich hasn't tried, that might work for her, or vice versa. It's just a great collaborative approach, so
Yeah.
thank you for doing that. I think It's awesome.
So can I ask a question? I think I missed it. When is phase 2 something that was just implemented now at the high school this year, or have we had phase 2?
The tier 2,
Yeah.
tier 2 was done, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, we were involved in this prior, tier 2 was not, that was the child study, that was essentially counselors, admin, Justin Reed, there's, maybe Brian Ridgway when he was here. It was definitely a more hands-off approach for us. It was we have concerns and how it went further on, it wasn't us involved. So this process, the way it is now,
Yeah.
is much more, we hear a lot and it's true, they're all of our kids, let's all work how to figure this out together.
So when was that? When did that?
Geez,
come
we
together?
started this, 3 years ago? In the Soul Prime, TSS, and the meetings we had at the co-op, and we started this ball
But
rolling.
all the
Greenhaven, Washington, and Lincoln were pretty much on board prior to this year. This year is the first year at the high school where we've had more, a much more involvement of gen ed teachers.
Perfect, thanks, that's what
Yeah.
How did
Can I just
the
say too, if I
PBI
could, you go ahead, I apologize.
How does the positive behavioral intervention, how did that fit into all of this? Is that the tier 2? Like when you come up with steps to help?
Yeah, so we try to find things that are gonna work for the kids prior to saying we need to get them evaluated for special ed, or prior, to look into the EBD programs and all that kind of stuff. What can we do, the teachers, like I said, being able to come in on different ends of the building, like you're saying, and talk about things and what's working in your room, what's not working in mine, and be able to brainstorm on things can really make a difference with, some kids might need just the littlest thing to turn things around. So this is focusing more on that to start. Like, we don't have at the high school, at the elementary level, they'll have title services, that's like a tier 2 intervention. No, we had interventionist, that's a tier 2 intervention. Different things that they have at the younger levels. So at the older levels, we got a couple of different things and actually in the classrooms for these kids that they can do as teachers to give them some extra supports or some interventions to try to get them, back on track and make them more successful rather than referring to special ed, going into the evaluation process and doing all that. So,
I think what would make your format more successful is that in the past, it was always really led by special education staff. They were the driving force, right? They have that issue with the student, things aren't working, here you go.
yeah, you
try
might
to
get
fix it for me.
one gen ed teacher would come in,
Yep.
that referred the student.
Yep.
That would be about it.
So now this is more gen ed led, which,
Yeah.
it's a great idea.
Mhm.
Some of the things that we have, you can see on the slide here, that this is be different for us at the high school. The inclusion courses, we still have a few of those. So those are courses where I believe the special ed teachers are in there full-time to help provide support to the gen ed teacher in that classroom. So it's almost like a team talk model where you have two individuals helping out the students. And we currently have one science inclusion class. I believe that's our physical science course for juniors, which is a tough class for high schoolers to take. And then we have some push-in classes where the special ed teachers are coming into those classes during those hours, right? I don't think they're in there full-time, but they have some hours that they know I'm gonna kind of stop in these places to help out when needed. The targeted services there.
Yeah, and then our targeted services, we're just gonna start that up again. We've had that posted just now, so we're gonna get that up and running here at the end of this first quarter. That'll be just for 8th grade students, that's for that hour after school. We do math 2 days a week and reading 2 days a week. Part of the hour is focused with our fast first scores and some individualized instruction for the kids in the areas they need. And then part of that hour will be helping them with some homework or tutoring or getting them caught up on anything that they might be needing extra help in. So we kind of implement both sides of it, where we can give them some extra support in the areas that our testing shows, and then also give them some support in some help in school that they're dealing with every day.
And for the board, to the agreement that we approved with Cloquet, that's how we're accessing that revenue for targeted services is through Cloquet and that agreement.
Our district priorities and our high school action plan. This is our fast bridge results in math and reading. You can see I had her above the 50th percentile, fall and spring. This is all last year's data, 53, 56, 47, and 44 are below, so those numbers went up and down in the areas that they should, showing some growth with our students. Same thing in reading, went up at that we're above the 50th percentile and down and below 50th percentile is what you want to see with your kids, showing growth throughout the year. Fast bridge testing is nice, we actually do it 3 times a year, but we really look at that fall to spring data to see how much growth we've had over the course of the school year. And then lastly, just some information about how things are going this year for you guys. Cell phone, I know that was a big deal with the policy changes we made. School year has had a fairly successful start to the year. Staff has been doing a great job implementing and policing this with the students. Walk around the building, you really don't see kids on phones. I can't speak, maybe you can speak of that for your classroom, how it's been, but
Very shocked at how cooperative they have been with it. I would have never expected, if I was placing a money bet on it, I never would have thought that it would have been going as smoothly as it is. So that's very nice to see.
yeah. I think the giving a little bit of having it at lunchtime is a good thing. Kids have been good. They go in the lunchroom and they're on there and they're doing whatever, playing games, especially the 8th grade kids especially, because they're here, right? It helps the cafeteria too. It kind of keeps things a little calmer in there. It's not, less chaotic, which is good. And then it gives them that little bit of time where they feel like they've, had that reward of being able to use it. But during the day and in the classrooms or in the hallways and stuff, when I'm around the building, I don't see them. I get logs from the teachers. They've dealt with it here and there. But we haven't had a major issue with phones, so that's been really, really good, and I think it's helping our building. Fall sports, just a quick update. Soccer and tennis are done for the year. Football, if you didn't know, they won their football game, first playoff game last night, was what I was told the first time in my 22 years, which is fantastic. They're going to Pequot on Saturday now for the semifinal game, so it'll be a little David Goliath action there. I know Pequot might be the #1 seed, but doesn't mean we can't go down there and make some noise, so those kids have a lot of confidence and they've been playing really well. Volleyball plays tonight, playoffs, cross-country sections are tomorrow over at the Muni here in Hibbing at 1 o'clock, if anyone's interested in watching that. Our cross-country teams I know are both in the running to go to state as teams. They're ranked in that top 3 and 2 in each goal. If both teams were to make it, I think maybe the first time ever both teams made it, so there's some nervous kids there because they know they're right there. And swimming and diving, I think, has another week or two to go. They're always the last one coming in at the end. They've had a really successful year though too. I know they've been winning lots of things, and our divers are really, got some great divers that are pulling through from the swim team, so they'll be finishing up last. And I don't have it up here, but I believe girls hockey starts like in a week from Monday, so here we go winter. Not much turnover, and we're right back and we fire up the winter season, so. Some challenges this year, just to let you know, we've had some beginning year pains, but for the most part, we're up and running smoothly. A lot of the stuff, growing pains for us have been in the background to the person, in the building, the kids, the teachers and stuff. They probably haven't felt a lot of it, but there's been a lot of little things going on in the background. We started out the year with the schedules, losing them. Our counselors did amazing work to get those back up. Some power school issues, trying to figure out those things. Class names like for NCAA, we have to make sure we have our names right, so we're trying to make some of those changes, work with the teachers to implement those. Obviously our tier 2, tier 3 meetings are new this year, so we put a lot of work in the background on that. Truancy, we lost the social worker at the high school, so we picked up the slack there. We kept those running. Our ALP, we had to fill out some new paperwork on that to get that certified properly for funding. We got that done in the background. Our Blue Jacket Virtual School, we're working hard at getting that approved by the state to allow kids from other districts in, so that's all sent in and we're waiting to hear back from them. So we've got all these little things in the background, and it's like, holy cow, people doing this in the background, it feels overwhelming, but we've handled it really well. Kudos to everyone that's dealt with it. I would think the non-behind the scenes eye, we wouldn't even know that we dealt with these things, so kudos to all of that, it's been amazing. Veterans Day, November 11th, just to let you guys know, we'll have a Veterans Day program here at 240, they do it every year, so we're getting that planned right now, and last thing I have is fall balls is Saturday night.
So Derek, Blue Jacket Virtual School, how's that going this year?
Our online school is going okay. We get reports from the teachers every Monday and Wednesday of students that are either absent or if they're struggling. We've met with the kids that are struggling a couple times, and they know that if they're not cutting it by the end of the first quarter, they come back to us in person. So we have a few kids we'll be talking to here again at the end of this quarter that might have to come back to school in person with us. But for the most part, I think, it's been running pretty smoothly. So the teachers do it. I mean, I don't even have to get involved. These teachers run it. Mr. McDonald and Ms. Spiesman, Ms. Ronning, Ms. Evers. I mean, they just do a great job with it. So they've actually educated me a lot in it because I stepped into it. So this year.
Have you gotten any feedback or heard anything anecdotally from the teachers and how teaching in the virtual academy is going for the teachers?
Everything that I've been told has been going really well. We'll meet with them again as a group. We met with them a couple times to start the year. Like I said, they really pulled us in and let us know how things run and what to do and everything on our end. And I told them I'm working on that, the paperwork and stuff for the state of Minnesota, try to open it up more. And they got their syllabi all the way the state wanted us. As far as I'm concerned, everything's been going really well. Have you heard anything from your husband? No, Mr. McDonald? We don't talk.
So are you looking to be accredited by next school year?
Well, when I sent it all in, that we could possibly have it opened up and running by second semester.
This year?
Yes, like where we could open it out, but.
So what would that look like if we get accredited? So if I'm a student that currently is enrolled in the Nashua Kiwanis schools as an example, what would that look like?
So we would have to figure out the next steps, I suppose, would be how would we open this up to the public? How would we get them to enroll in those classes? I would look to the state to see what those steps would be for us coming up next. Would we get it done by second semester? I don't know. It depends on how early we get it back from them. Might be more of a goal for us to have it ready for the fall. But we'd have to figure out exactly what the steps would be that we'd have to follow by what they tell us from the state to get those kids in those classes. I don't know. I'm not educated enough in it yet to know, do they have to do some enrollment with us? Do they not? Did they I don't know. I guess I'll find out.
So I'm going to bring up the subject because I think Mike is probably chomping at the bit, but we have been talking about sports co-op agreements a lot lately. So remind me, what does that look like if we were accredited? we had students from other communities enrolling in Blue Jacket Virtual Academy. What does that do to athletic or activity eligibility?
I don't know the answer to that question.
I think if it's a school where we share, like say us and Chisholm, wouldn't affect it at all. They could play. You know, I think, I'm just trying to remember my AD hat, maybe you remember, if we have a sport that's like collaborate with Chisholm and a kid transfer from Chisholm to Hibbing or Hibbing to Chisholm, the transfer rule doesn't affect that sport because they're already together, correct? I think.
No, it still.
It still does?
It's still the movement address. It's
Okay.
still where you live.
Okay. So I didn't know for sure on that, but yeah, the virtual stuff, lots of unknowns to get the answers to.
What I'm thinking, Director McLaughlin, and I shouldn't say, but I'm thinking this is how it works. It's where your full-time status would be. So if you're 6/10 at Nashua, here, you're gonna be a Nashua kid. If you take more than half of your courses with us, and you're part of our team, you'd be our student.
Sure.
So
What if it goes 50/50?
that's a good question. Yeah, maybe they have to declare.
Yeah.
I don't-
so
Yeah.
somebody's not.
So if we get that accreditation, get that up and running, those would be all the next questions to figure out and get answers on and how we would set that up. Because the first process was just getting this paperwork done and getting all the syllabi done and getting everything to the state.
We could be looking at, right there, we could be looking at a student, and if we're fully accredited, we could be looking at a student anywhere in the state of Minnesota. It doesn't just have to be in our region, anywhere. Could jump on for second hour chemistry with us, if that's an option, and they do, apply and do the correct paperwork, so. It is a little bit of a monster here when you start thinking about it, and you could have kids in 2 or 3 different spots, and taking classes all over the place. Again, I think it takes the right student, right? It's gonna take somebody that has the skills to manage all that, and that's where we'll run into some of these problems, because a lot of kids will wanna take advantage of it, and one have the academic or the work ethic to do it, and then we're playing some of that catch-up stuff afterwards. So if we can vet some of those kids somehow, right? Have a cut score, have a criteria to get in, so we're not just taking everybody and then paying that credit recovery bill afterwards to try to get these kids caught up, so.
And
So yeah, we gotta figure it out, don't we?
I appreciate that to all the teachers and to
Yes.
everybody in this Blue Jacket Virtual Academy to provide that opportunity for kids, but with some safeguards. So hearing that you're meeting with them, and if things aren't going like they should be, to say, hey, you have to come back now. So,
Yeah, I met with all the teachers right before school started, met with all the kids before school started, we met with all the kids that were on our list for not doing well enough, we pulled them in and met with them. So the messages go out to them so they know if they're not cutting it, they could potentially be back and have to come back in session to school and not be able to do it starting second quarter.
Just to follow up on the cross-country, to the success of the girls' program, they're going for a 5-peat.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever been done
Right,
in any sport, so
Yeah.
it's a great accomplishment for them. So I wish them well.
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Bob.
Thank you very much. Mr. Vesco from the Greenham and his team.
That's part of it. Right now, we had a few teachers that couldn't make it. Ms. Zubich, Ms. Wright, Ms. Grunewald, all were busy after school today. So I have Ms. Gabrielson and Ms. Fora with me. One of the things I'll say going forth out of 4 schools, you're going to hear a repeat of a lot of the things you've already heard. So what I've kind of decided in our area is to keep it simple and to maybe give you some more examples of what you see with some of these things while school is operating. So one of the things that we concentrated a lot on this year at the beginning is our social and emotional learning. A lot of these students right now, especially in the 2nd and 3rd grade, and obviously grades below, really need that. They need something there like that. Our Tier 1 instruction is kind of the core social emotional learning area. We have every class goes into Miss Belleville in the library and gets instruction on that. That changes weekly. And then the teachers tend to follow up with that. Good example today, literally this morning I was in the hallway, I was called out. There was a kid in the hallway having a pretty rough time. Went out there, dealt with the kid, found out what was wrong, kind of talked him through it. He happened to be going to the library, opened the library door, he walked in, everything was good. The next hour, Miss Belleville came down and said exactly what you were dealing with in the hallway, we were instructing in that class today. So it's kind of a cool thing where I was like, it's working, you know, and it was dumb luck in a sense, but just to know that I talked to the kid kind of about one thing, he got in there, and it was there. And then a lot of the teachers will follow up on this same instruction. So this child today probably had 3 times where he heard the same message, which at that age, I don't know if you'll remember it tonight, because 3 times may not be enough, but that's a good example. Our Tier 2 and Tier 3 instruction, that's where targeted intervention. A lot of times that's special education staff, North Homes, our social workers involved in that. And so those are things that go beyond the Tier 1 that all the groups have talked about. Good example today, I'm in a special ed room, wanted to go see how things were going with the kid, opened the door up, didn't see any kids. Kind of freaked out, because if I don't see any kids, generally that means she had to clear the room. And I didn't see the kids because they were behind the counter over here sitting in a group with the teacher. And I was amazed, because it was an EBD classroom, tough group of kids, but it's gotten to the point now where she's able to sit in a circle with 7 or 8 kids and have a discussion. They're passing around a lizard. I think Carrie got them the lizards. It was a live lizard, stuff going. But they're passing that around and telling stories about whatever their thing was. You know, so again, those are our 3rd level kids that are sitting in a circle and being able to talk about things. So we've been doing this for a couple of years. It's taken a while to see those types of things get there, but what we're doing right now is definitely making a difference in that area. The other part, I gave you that, correct?
That's me.
All right,
Yep.
go ahead.
So this year for Tier 2, we have what I need. We shorten it to WIN. In the past, I know that we had a few teachers at each grade level were doing RTI, where you would switch groups. And now the nice thing with WIN is it's the entire building now. So all the 3rd grade teachers have their chunk of time, all the 2nd grade teachers have their chunk of time. So we looked at the Fast Bridge data to decide where our high kids would go, medium, and low. And so we're just right now getting that ball rolling, which is nice. The 3rd grade group, they have some really good readers. So their high group is doing like book studies and book clubs and things like that. 2nd grade, our groups are a little bit different, so we're kind of focusing on different needs. So that's the nice thing. It's getting us to meet more often as a team. So we met on our in-service day to set our groups up. 2nd grade, we meet weekly. We try to meet every Wednesday so that we make sure we're on the same page. We have 2 separate groups because we have 7 teachers. So there's 2 high, 2 medium, and 2 low. So we use that time also to make sure that the 2 low teachers are doing the same things and the same activities and hitting the same targets that we should. And we just realize it's a work in progress. We'll tweak things as we go, so next year might run a little different. Each year you have different students. And we also talked about how things could be fluid. We might have a student who's doing really well in a lower medium group, so we might feel they're ready to move up. Or we might have someone in a higher group that might start to struggle, and we know we could maybe slide them down, reinforce, and maybe get them back up. So we're not only looking at things we could change for this year, but what we could improve for next year.
So you've kind of heard a lot to the message about the collaborative link teams, Tier 1 or 2 and 3. Same message. I think it's really cool. At the Greenhaven, we have been doing it for a few years and just kind of continuing to build on it every year. What going through those changes, coming from the Greenhaven, we were K2, we were starting everything and then handing it off, and now we're in the middle. So it's really nice that we're all doing the same thing. It's consistent. We're getting stuff from the Washington, we're continuing, we're handing it off to the Lincoln. So it's nice to be all together and doing the same thing. Tier 2 is twice a month. We do have staff from every area, the classroom teachers, and we have both grade levels are there. And it's nice. Last night we had a meeting, and then you're able to share ideas. And one student was brought to the table, and their last year teacher happened to be on the agenda to sit in, and was able to share this is what helped them last year. Here's what worked. And actually, I had follow up today with the current teacher that said, "Wow, I tried it. I didn't even have that idea, and I tried it, and he completed all of his work today." like fast. And it was a really little bit of success, you know, whether it'll carry through to tomorrow, I don't know, but it was nice. So we all sit around a table or a room and discuss ideas, evidence-based interventions to make sure that, you know, we're supporting the students. Then we move to a tier 3 that's once a month. So tier 2 still meets, but tier 3 we can kind of level it up for those kids that are needing extra support or a little bit more instruction or interventions, higher level, and just to explore whether this is a kid that maybe needs extra services or not, because sometimes we just have to change things up or try something a little bit longer and hopefully give kids what they need without having to refer for special education.
Last thing, just in general here, the other area, and I know BJ had talked about it, was the teacher developmental model we're using now, which is a big change. And I think for the better, the teachers were the ones who kind of came up with the design of this and really pushed it out. It's a situation where we'll see a lot more conversation between the teacher and myself before I go and observe to find out how things are going. What do they want me to look for? In the past, and I don't mean to rip on the past, but in the past it was really more of a walk-in with a checkboard and just kind of sit there for your half hour and check things off. Really didn't do a whole lot of good as far as for me or for the teachers. So that change is going to be huge, because now I can go in there and look for some of the things they're asking me to look for. We can discuss it beforehand, knowing what I'm going in there for. It's not going to be a surprise. It's not going to be, oh, I got to check you on this or check you on that. It's going to be, hey, where can we all improve on this? They also obviously have their peer reviews, which I think the teachers are finding out the peer reviews have been very successful, but they've been successful because the peers have been able to talk about it, which is now where we're going to be able to go as principals a little bit more. So we'll have they create their growth plans, then we'll do a conference meeting, then we'll do like there'll be a teacher rubric where they'll take some notes and be able to get it to me so I can see what they want. Then there'll be a post meeting. And so all those things, they'll take time, probably a little more time, but I think it's going to be much more valuable to them. And I think their peer reviews too, we're going to be getting those going here pretty quick. We kind of wanted to wait till after MEA because it is a little hectic time prior to that. So that's going to be a key too. But overall, I'll say as far as Greenhaven goes, you know, a lot of changes. We had a lot of things going on this year with the reconstruction of the inside of the school. It is not done yet. We'd like to have an open house. Ain't gonna happen for a while. Today we did make sure that we were gonna be able to get into the gym starting next week, hopefully, where our kids are gonna be able to use that. But due to some issues that occurred there, we're gonna wait until Christmas to get it all taken care of, to get the new floor down and everything, which I think was the right plan. Tyler, by the way, and I think all of you obviously know how Tyler works and how bad he feels about things, but he's been very good about keeping me in the loop and trying to work with me on making sure things go. BJ and I had to do a little juggling here over the last couple of weeks. Obviously BJ was very cordial about that, so we're getting there. When it is done, it's going to be phenomenal, but we'll probably see you this spring for a little open house, just to make sure everything's taken care of. So. Any questions for us?
Mr. Bessel, will you do the time capsule that you found?
Yes.
Are you going to do that during the open house?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we've been waiting for, and we didn't expect it to take this long. So it's sitting in my office, protected. Yeah, we're gonna wait till that. I think that, and I did contact the paper and just let them know too that, you know, we'll be doing that. We'll be doing that later, and I'll make sure I contact them when we do it. So.
What year is that from?
2000.
2000 it was?
I think it's
Okay.
25 years.
25, 2000.
I was there 71 years ago, I thought I might have been with that.
Those are just described in rocks, those time capsules. So. No, but like I said, overall, you know, with the changes, and I think it was brought up, you know, we're getting into this whole running the second and third grade thing, and it's gone smoother every month, every year. I think we're just finally getting a really good flow going. You know, we have some tough kids, we have some tough classes, but overall it's been going pretty well. I mean, our teachers have stepped up, and we've gotten some support that we've needed, and honestly it's feeling a lot more comfortable every day. Now with that, because of death, we'll see how tomorrow goes. But right now, things have been going very well. Very proud of my staff.
It's great when you have good people that surround you, right? Makes the
Yeah,
job a lot
having
easier.
experience is a nice thing. I mean, it's extremely lucky, put it that way, so. All right, thank you.
Can I just thank the leadership team and the leadership team of each building, like sitting here and listening over the last few weeks. It's been so nice, I mean, like attending the leadership meetings, right? And you put together a strategy and a plan. And when each building comes here, like the language is the same, although the way you deliver things may be different. And I feel like it so aligns with our mission and what we're trying to accomplish, that it just, I don't know, it kind of feels really good about the work all of you are doing. And so, thank you.
It's going to make I think every year these students grow, it's going to make things better. And that's really what we're hoping for,
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
I mean, so.
So
all right.
thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Very nice. Any more administrators?
No, that is it, Mr. Chair, except for our student rep, I think you might have a report.
First of all, directors,
Yes, yes.
go ahead.
I want to commend Brett Lindstrom and Jerry Ann Gabarty and Peyton's friend for the quick response. And I unfortunately would be somebody like Jerry Ann, but you know, like kudos to Brett. And I mean, it's wonderful. It pays off, right, all the training. So I know there was one comment about we should have all of our students trained in safety stuff to an extent, and I think we do have more students that are trained than people realize, so kudos to them. That's what it's all about.
That also was picked up, MSBA does e-clippings, all the news stories that are happening in the state, and that story made it into today's MSBA e-clippings also. So I'll forward that to you, I'll get a chance later.
Okay, student director.
A few things. Just to begin, the forms that I told you about, a couple weeks ago, I've decided to make that bi-weekly, and that's just because I'm gone pretty often, so I'd like to give you some stuff. And then also, not a lot of stuff happens within a month, so I'm just getting some material up. The second thing, I'd like to thank Kim, thank you for finding that student rep convention.
Oh.
That's great. I was just talking to Mr. Aldrich about that. That looks really fun, and I would very much like to go. It's next Wednesday. If any of you guys would like, feel free to. But if not, Mrs. Lindstrom's taking me down with a couple other kids.
Good deal.
Yeah, and I guess the main reason is that I don't really know exactly what to do as a student rep other than like leadership and being the voice for students, but like what else would that be? And I guess the last thing is some stuff going around the school. Oh, back to the forms. I talked to student council. They were okay with what I had on the forms. Basically, it's some things that are going great with the school, and then some things that could be changed.
Tell it like it is, that's good.
Yeah, some other things that they were talking about, it's coming up the end of next month, the Spirit of Unity Parade. They're going to be completing a float about that. What else do we got for that? The band will probably be playing in that. They always march in that. And more recently, we've got a concert coming up next Tuesday on the 29th, I believe. That's some great stuff for the kids. And then, that's what it was. The business club, they're going to be having a hot chocolate stand at the Spirit of Unity Parade at the City Hall. So I've just been looking forward to that. And the most recent thing, I've got this folder, we had a chemistry field trip where Mr. Sadness took us to the University of Minnesota to explore their campus, which was pretty fun, and we learned lots.
It's my alma mater.
Oh, that's cool.
I know, I hear you.
Yep, that's about it.
Very good, good report, thank you.
Sam, you heard what Principal Gabarty said about cell phones. What do you hear from students, and what's it? How are things going? I don't mean to put you on the spot, and if you don't want to share, that's fine. I just was curious if you had a perspective. But.
Let's just say some teachers enforce it and some teachers don't.
Okay.
And
Mr.
the other
Barty's
thing
making
is-
notes back there, I think, so, yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I'm older, so we got a pretty good idea that if you have your phone out, you're not gonna like learn well, and you're just not gonna get it. So
Yeah.
of course your grades are gonna tank if you're not paying attention. So there's also that aspect. I think we're pretty responsible with the phones as it is.
I've stopped a few students and just asked.
Yeah.
And I've gotten like surprising results. And
Okay.
people, one girl I spoke to said, I don't feel as anxious as I used to. Just quick comments, just, how's it going about the phone, and good,
Yeah.
better. I mean, nobody's stopped and crossed their arms and wanted to fight about it. It's been a pretty positive response.
Yeah, I think so too. Very engaging. Yeah, like almost open up your eyes almost, like seeing what's all around you.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to say that for Mr. Sadness's class because he does not tolerate phones at all. But he is like the funniest guy, and he kind of does what we say, log in, and just focus on what he's teaching you.
He's a great teacher. Great
Yes.
teacher, yes. Well, thank you, Sam. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Yeah, that's what mine, I hope. No.
Okay, with that, we'll move to item 5, motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Moved by Director Polter, supported by Director Kim. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you. With that, we'll move to item 6, a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Support.
Moved by Director Polter, supported by Director Kim. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you. With that, we'll move to item 7, administrative business. Turn it over to Sir Alex.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome.
Item A is a motion to approve the resolution for donations, which consists of $25 from the American Income Life Insurance Company to support the school readiness program, $500 from Splash Express to support the athletic department, and $1,000 from the Ice Cream Truck LLC to support transportation costs for the cross-country team.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Director Kim, supported by Director Jeff. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you.
Item B is a motion to approve final payment to Nelson Roofing in the amount of $13,289.30 for work completed on the Lincoln Middle School roof project.
Support. Yay.
Moved by Director Polter, supported by Director Mike. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you.
Item C is a motion to approve the group Medicare supplement rates with Blue Cross Blue Shield from January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026 as presented.
Support.
Moved by Director Christine, supported by Director Kim. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you.
Item D is a motion to approve the certification of minutes relating to the special election.
So moved.
Moved by Director Kim, supported by Director Jeff. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you.
Item E is a motion to adopt a resolution supporting the district application to the Minnesota State High School League Foundation for the High School Activities Department to use the Minnesota State High School League Form A grant funding to offset financial reductions that are provided for the free and reduced lunch students at Hibbing High School.
Or so moved.
Support.
Moved by Director Mike, supported by Director Jeff. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you.
Item F is a motion to support the 2025 MSBA Delegate Assembly proposed legislative resolutions. Number 1, District Authority of Eligibility for Supplemental Online Courses. Number 2, reform Minnesota's post-secondary enrollment options or PSEO statutes. Number 3, PSEO enrollment requirements. And number 4, district authority for post-secondary enrollment options.
Support.
Moved by Director Christine, supported by Director Kim. Any discussion?
Where can we go to find out more information on the options that are available that they're looking at?
I have all the resolutions, if you'd like me
Can you
to.
copy that?
Yep, yep.
You know how much I love repeating.
And what this is too is, this was Tim Reardon, who is our district rep for MSBA, that's helped compile these, and,
He's president-elect too.
oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, but he'll take, next year it kicks in, but now he's president.
Okay, okay. But these are, as written, they are a little cumbersome, the way they were written. They were written by a school board member in Hermantown. And again, they're gonna take the idea, they're gonna take kind of the theme of this in the delegate assembly, right? And then they have a discussion on which items they'd like to include, right? And each rep will present their items, and then the whole assembly will vote on what items are included in the legislative priorities, is that correct?
They'll just approve the ones that were talked about in the delegate assembly and forward that to the legislature.
Okay,
And
okay.
they try to streamline it. We used to have 60 or 70 people only speaking on the same thing, so different districts, so we're trying to make it so, okay, these districts support this resolution or whatever.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's a good way to get things going, so that you're not lost. It's good to represent the,
And this is not about, eliminating PSEO, it's just taking a look at PSEO and what effect is it having on public schools, what effect is it having on let's just please take a look at it, is what we're asking, so, yes.
If I could echo, when I read through them, again, like Superintendent Aldrich said, I think there's a lot that could be reformatted, but I felt like holistically, the spirit of these 4 were, just to review the statute, but then it kind of resonated throughout all these, and maybe because they were written by a couple of people, but the intent of enriching and not replacing. And, like in school districts have very capable faculty, and not to basically undermine or work around the work that faculty and staff do. And then the third thing was like the social emotional supports that schools provide. So I think the intent is really good.
Well, I want to make it clear, I'm not dead fast against the program. I am looking at it from the financial end of it, the effect it has on this high school. And the fact that because of what we have to pay for the students that go to the college, and the fact that we're now going out for a referendum, is something that needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed on a state level so that everybody kind of is in the same boat, I would assume. And what can be done to correct it or make it more beneficial for the districts.
yeah, that's a hot subject, so
And it's not just here, it's,
no, it's.
I know it's everywhere.
this will be a theme
Like you
in
said.
all of the districts throughout the state, I think
Yep.
that it'll be an item to bring forward, so.
Well, and as it was in Ed, Minnesota, right, when our former teacher went to Ed, Minnesota and got a resolution passed, I'm hoping that collectively these bodies can come together and say, look, it's affecting, it's a priority for all of us.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you. With that, we'll move to item 8. Discussion items. Item A, referendum update. I'll turn it over to Superintendent Rick.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a couple of things that's happening tonight. There is a meeting at the college, an informational meeting at 6 o'clock at Minnesota North College in the Commons area. There may be a quorum of the board present at that meeting, but again, we'll be answering questions from the community on the referendum. The Yes Committee Chair, Pat Furlong, is going to lead that discussion, and we'll a lot of administrators there and school personnel there just to talk one-on-one with anybody that has any questions and try to give them the right information so they can vote and make an educated choice. Also referendum-wise, had a very, I think, nice meeting yesterday at the chamber. We were asked by Amy Matt to be at the chamber meeting. It happened at Sammy's at noon. Mrs. McDonald and Mr. Gabarty came with me, and they did a fantastic job, presented their information, and the chamber agreed that they would, I don't know exactly how they were going to support it, but I think with a letter and...
A letter of resolution that they supported the referendum for the school.
This is we're very thankful for that. We brought, the Yes Committee has also had some signs, and there's some signs that were available for business owners to display in their windows also. I don't know how many we handed out, but I think quite a few.
Yep.
It's moving forward again. 2 weeks away, Alex. It's gone so quickly when we started talking about this, and the vote's almost upon us. And we probably should say Alex has got a couple of special days coming up to vote. When are those, Alex?
Yep, so the first one is Saturday, November 1st. So on that Saturday, we will be open from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And down at door 12 is where someone will be available. And then on Monday the 3rd, the day before the election, we have extended hours, so we'll be open from 8 in the morning until 5 p.m. And then all the voting on election day is at the Hibbing Armory from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
And if anybody, again, all that information is on Hibbing Public Schools website, right on our main page. Click on voting information, and you can, everything Alex just shared is also on our page. Thank you. Yeah, and that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Do we have to pass a motion to allow us to go to that meeting?
I'm just gonna discuss that. To make sure if there's a quorum of the board there, they cannot talk and discuss that among themselves. 3 people could, but not a quorum. And they would, they're obligated to abide by the open meeting law rules. So it's not like they don't want to talk to each other or talk to you, but it's for information only. Go ahead.
I just want to clarify, just to be transparent, I knew in my mind what I was talking about at the last meeting, and I think like between human resources and payroll, sometimes there's a difference in how tasks are structured. So at the last meeting, when conversation came up about what department does what, I talked about superintendent's office doing all the HR work. And I knew like, that means like contract administration and if there's issues or grievances or legal pieces of it. But the one thing that I want to make sure I give credit to where credit's due in Alex's office. So some of the interpretation that's done in the superintendent's office gets loaded and put into action in Alex's office. So Pam and the staff in there, Kathy, and all the staff. And I just want to make sure that you get recognized for the work you do too. So it's, yeah.
Thank you for that. Anything else? Does that answer your question?
It does, but I have one more. Kim and I had talked about this. I would like to have on the agenda in the next meeting our update on what we're going to do with our collaboration. I want to wait till after November 5th if we can. And then, if we were going to try to attack this before winter sports started, unfortunately we can't do that. So.
Well, I was, to share, I was reached out to by Lisa Perkovich that they would like to schedule a meeting, a collaborative meeting with our board. And I said that I would speak to you about that, but I said our focus right now is our referendum. I didn't want to complicate that with other dates, so I said once the referendum vote has happened, then I'd reach back out. And I was hoping to have a discussion with all of you prior to that. We can do that now, we can do that at the next meeting, but they have reached out, they would like to meet, and they're just waiting on a response from us.
So this would be both activities, both athletic activities and our educational side as far as.
I think what what I would do, or what I would suggest is that we pick a date and we would collaboratively work on the agenda. We'd have some items that we'd like to talk about, they'll have some items that they would like to talk about, and give you input in that prior to establishing that agenda.
Are we talking about the full boards?
Well, if we have to, we can set up a special meeting to push us ahead
I think
quicker.
it would be good to have the full boards, because we have had a multitude of collaborative meetings, so I think it's time to hear from the full boards.
Her suggestion was a committee, and she had named that there was 3 members. But if we'd like to do a full board meeting, then that would be our request.
I would prefer a full board only because the 3 representatives might not represent the other members of the board just as it is here. So I think a full board, I mean, I want more than just driver's training to be included in our.
So you wouldn't want a committee meeting and then send it to after the results to the, or you were there
I
before?
read everybody here, if they want to express their views, do it as a group, not just as a committee of 3
So
representatives.
you can check with Lisa then, she's interested in that.
I was entirely agree with Mike on that, absolutely. We need those words to come together. It's a big project. It's everybody's attention.
And we're being proactive. Right.
It might even be beneficial to get a few people from, or let people in the community know, post it, that it's going on. There may be invested people that want to listen or speak or whatever they need to.
Better ask her about that too.
So
If
would
you get a
you,
whole room full, you don't gain anything by that. The board's first,
I
I
would,
would think.
Okay.
again, I would recommend, I'm not trying to tell how to run, I'd recommend the both boards get together in private, discuss the issues that have to be discussed, how we'd like to address those issues. And then, once that is done and everybody agrees to how we're gonna do it, or what we're gonna do, you could all have your public meeting and let the public get their input on it. And then we can finally come into, I mean, this has been going on for 20 years, let's, you know,
Longer.
let's get it done and just figure out where we're gonna go.
we won't be able to have a private meeting if we have a joint, the public could attend,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they can attend, but,
No problem.
yeah.
Just informational only, so
Right.
they, yeah.
So as long as we're talking about that, the other thing, if I could request, and I know you weren't a part of it, Rick, so you probably thought I was, again, a little off the mark. But we invested a lot of money in reviewing our activities, policies, and procedures, and I think the one thing that was going to be provided was a list of what corrective measures have we done. And I guess I'd like to understand what we've done to make sure that our athletes, participants in activities, what have we done to improve our practices to ensure their safety? And I think that was something that was going to be brought back to the board. And so just kind of wondering with the start of winter sports, where that's at, and more importantly is, how have those expectations and rules been communicated to coaches, to parents, to athletes, that, you know what, we take safety with utmost importance. So I guess I'd just like to understand that, so when people ask us, we know, and we've done something, we've invested our money and made improvements.
I'll ask Mr. Please to bring that.
See if there's anything that could violate the safety, but safety is taught and there's rules and stuff. That should be already out there. I don't understand what that,
And it was about, I think we were just talking about reiterating
Yep.
all of those
well, you can
expectations.
do that.
Yep, that's-
And I think he was gonna go back and review what we're currently doing to see if there's anything that needs to be tweaked to enhance.
Updated,
Yep, to
Maybe
enhance safety.
rules change and regulations, requirements,
Yep.
etc. Okay, with that, move to Director Bolton.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Seconded, and without objection, the meeting adjourned at 4:30, and thank everybody for coming.
Sorry.
Hibbing Public Access TV may be viewed on these platforms. hpat.org with video on demand. Mediacom Hibbing, 802, 805, and 807. On Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Download the Hibbing Public Access TV app for your iPhone and Android devices. Find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo. For more information, scan the QR code and go to hpat.org. Hibbing Public Access Television would like to thank Mediacom for all the years they have supported our organization. Visit their office at 3105 East Beltline, Suite number 2 here in Hibbing, and give them a call at 855-633-4226. For over 25 years, U.S. Bank, located at 211 East Howard Street in Hibbing, Minnesota, has provided office and studio space for Hibbing Public Access Television. We are thankful for their ongoing support.